Hi everyone, welcome back to my video. As you already know that for nowadays the internet access is very important to everyone, not for the office use or not for the home private use or everywhere. Everyone need the internet connection. So even those our smartphone, our laptop, yes, we need to access to our internet in order to use the social media, also to for the entertainment, something like that, okay, or for researching, for your need a lot of information on the internet. Okay, so today for this lab we will configure together our DNS server in order to forward the traffic from our client to the internet. So we need to have a DNS server. Okay, so if you are new here watching my video, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to give the thumbs up if you like my video. Okay, so let's go back to our topic. We will see together how to configure step-by-step DNS server with our firewall or network environment. So how can you deploy your DNS server for your network environment? So let's go back to the DNS tree together and we see step by step. Okay everyone, so this is our DNS tree, and this lab actually it is my previous lab that we already configure our DHCP server here to provide the IP address for our VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, and this is our client VLAN 10, VLAN 20, also VLAN 10, and this is our FortiGate firewall. Okay, so for those that you not yet watch my previous lab about this configuration, you can go back to my video and you can check on the playlist. Okay, so this is our DHCP server. Let's go to our DHCP server and we go to our DHCP scope to check. Yeah, we have a VLAN 10 for HR and VLAN 20 for finance. So as we can see, our VLAN 10 we have two clients, Windows 7 and PC 1. Okay, and VLAN 20 we have a Windows 10 client. Okay, so let's go back to our diagram. Here VLAN 10 we have Windows 7 client and Windows PC 1 client, and this is VLAN 20. So we go to our firewall. I just let you see some of my previous configuration so you can have more understanding what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is our FortiGate firewall. We go to network interface, and then we have VLAN 10, 20 and VLAN 7. As you can see, VLAN 10 HR. Here I put admin, actually finance in my server. I name it finance. That's okay. So this is server and we configure on port 2, and this is our WAN port. And as you can see, this is our Windows DHCP server here. Okay, and here. Okay, so let's check our client, Windows 7 client. Okay, correct. 10.11. Let's try to ping our VLAN 20. VLAN 20. Can we ping? Cannot. Let's check VLAN 20 on Windows 10 client. Oh, sorry everyone. It get the IP address 13, so we can ping 13. Huh? Why cannot? Let me check with Windows Firewall. Okay, let me turn off Windows Firewall. Okay. So this is VLAN 20. Let's try to ping VLAN 10. 10. Okay, we can ping VLAN 10 and we go back to our Windows 7 client and we ping to VLAN 20. Okay. And then we have another client here, also VLAN 10. So let me show. Okay, VLAN 10 IP address here. Let's ping to VLAN 10. Okay. Let's try to ping to VLAN 20. Also can. So for this lab, we already configure our DHCP server here to provide the IP address for our VLAN. We have VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, and you can add more VLAN if you have a big network, but for this lab I just configure 2 VLAN for our lab practice. So we will continue with this lab to configure our DHCP server here, also as a Active Directory and DNS server. So like this, our client can access through to the internet by this DNS server forwarding the traffic to our firewall and then go to the internet. Okay, so let's go back to our firewall and you can see here our LAN, VLAN, WAN and inter-VLAN routing. Also I have default route to internet. Let's check let's try to check our internet. Okay, I can ping to Google DNS from my firewall, and as you can see our policy here, I already allow our client to the internet, but if we go back to our client here, we cannot go to our internet even though we allow the firewall, allow our client to access, but the traffic cannot forward to firewall because we need to configure our DNS here on our server. And let's go to our client here, my Windows 7 client. Let's try to ping to Google. So as you can see, we cannot access to internet right now. Also, we go back to our Windows 10. Also cannot. But for our firewall, currently we can go. Okay. Okay. So as you can see now, we have already configured the DHCP server, and then we configure our server as a DNS server and Active Directory domain controller. Okay, so this one will be DNS server as well. DNS. Okay, so we go to our server, and this is our DHCP client. You can see here. Okay, so as you can see, we have only DHCP server configure. So we go to tool, and then we cannot find any Active Directory or DNS. Okay, and then we add our server to DNS server and Active Directory. Okay, you follow this step. So okay, here our Active Directory domain service. You just click on this one, and then it will ask for another feature. Okay, you can add, and then DNS server as well. Okay, you can add. So, and then we want this server to configure as active domain controller and DNS server. Last time we configured the DHCP server here. Okay, so now we continue to add this two rule. Okay, for our server. Actually, if you have many server, you can separate this server to run only one rule to handle. For example, one server for the DHCP server, one server for Active Directory and DNS. If you have more budget, but this is for my lab here. I just want to practice only with one server all together, the DNS and the DHCP, also the Active Directory. Okay, I hope you understand this step. Okay, so click next, and then click next. Okay, for this one, if you have Microsoft 365, also you have to integrate this one as well. Okay, so for my lab here I don't have, so just click next and then next. Okay, so you can review our configuration here, and then we start our installation. Okay, so wait for a moment for our server to complete the installation. Okay, so now our server complete the installation. It's so success on our server here. We close and then we go to here's the yellow sign here. You click on it and then we have another step to configure. Okay, so now we already install our server to Active Directory domain controller, so we need to promote this server to our main domain controller. Okay, so we start our configuration together. We click on this one. Okay, okay, so in here if you already have your domain controller, you can specify here, but for our case this is our new server here, so for my case here I choose this one. Okay, everyone, new one. But if you already have your domain controller, you can choose this one. Okay, so in my case I choose new, so I prefer my name. Okay, so this is my domain controller. I will put it like this, my name dot local. Okay, you can configure whatever name for your real environment, for your real company. Okay, this is my lab. I prefer my name here. Okay, okay, so this step you need to specify your Windows Server. For me, I use 2016. Okay, so if you have a latest version, you can select what version that you are using. Okay, so this is very important because you need to specify your Windows version as well. Okay, so password here, you just type in your own password. Okay, okay, and then next, this step we not require. Okay, okay, correct. Okay, we keep it default like this. Okay, next. And then we can see our summary configuration here. So this is our summary configuration. You can review, and if there is something wrong, you can go back and modify it again before you proceed the next step. Okay, so for me, I don't have anything change. I want to keep it like this. Okay, click on next. Okay, everyone, so we have another error message here, so let me check this one. cannot create because okay everyone, because I don't have the password for my local admin, so in order to complete this configuration, maybe I need to add my password for my local admin. Okay, so please give me 1 minute. I will go to check for my local admin. Okay everyone, so I need to configure my local admin password. Okay, and then this one also I put the same password. It's easy for me to remember. Okay, so now I configure the password for my local user. So let's go back to our configuration, so we need to restart it again. Okay, okay, so now the check is complete and we get successfully passed, so we can install our server now. And this is just a warning mistake only, but no worry, because it's not related to our configuration. Okay, so we can install it now. We wait for our server to complete the running process. Okay, so now we come to our login page. As you can see here, we have our domain here. Okay. Okay, so now we go to our user administrator in order to reconfigure, or in order to provide our domain controller to manage our DHCP server rule as well. Okay. Okay, so our server is starting up all the service and rule. So we go to our DHCP. Yes, we go and check our DHCP server. Okay, our DHCP server here. Okay, so this is our client, but as you can see, we have a red sign here. It means that our DHCP server not running properly. So after we configuration, after we configure our server as domain controller and DNS, our DHCP server not running properly. In order to make it run properly, we need to allow our server to control the DHCP server rule as well. Okay, so we go to okay, DHCP, right click, we go to manage authorized server, and here we try to put our server IP address here. Okay, so as you can see, we want this domain controller to control our DHCP server. Okay, so now done. We have here, you click OK. Okay, so now we already add our DHCP server to our domain controller. Okay, so let's try to refresh here. Refresh. Okay, so now it become the green tick. Okay, so let's go to our IP address list and we see our client, and here our VLAN 20. Okay, so now everything become normal, and the DHCP server we can see our client. So we go back to our client and we test again. Let's try to test from our PC1. Let's try to ping. Okay, we cannot ping to Google. Let me check with Windows 11 client. Okay, Windows 11. So let's try to IP config release. Okay, and then renew. Okay, now we can get our IP address. We try to ping 1.1 Google. Still cannot go out. Okay, we test from our server. Okay, now we try to ping Google. Okay, so now as you can see, we can ping to Google. It means that now our DNS server is up and running. We can access to internet now. So let's try to go back to our client, and we try to ping again. Okay, everyone, so now our configuration on DNS server is correct. Let's go back to our Windows 10. Let our Windows 10 running. We try to ping from our PC1. Okay, PC1 also can ping Windows 10. So ping google.com. Okay, so now we can access to internet. Okay, so as you can see, we can ping to Google. Also our Windows 7. Let me ping to YouTube, not Google. I try to ping YouTube. Okay, also can. So now we successfully configure our DNS server, DHCP server, and Active Directory. So like this, you can have more idea to deploy your network environment with your real network requirement. Okay, so this is our server and our client. Our client here, we can get IP address and we can access through to the internet. Okay, so we go back to our DHCP server, DNS server, and also Active Directory. Okay, so next lab I will play around with this function. Okay, play around with this function. We will create user after we don't have any computer here, so our Windows 7 client and Windows 10. Next lab I will configure this client to join domain. So we have our domain here, and we have our domain here, and we will configure this organization, the OU, and many things that we can play around with this one. We can assign the specific rule. For example, we apply the policy and apply the file server, everything. We will test more. We will practice more on this server. Okay, so now we have this server. I hope you have some idea how to configure this network environment. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. I hope you get my point for this lab.